Mexican slaves in America, a forgotten history. When we think of slavery in America, African chattel slavery in the 17th through 19th centuries usually comes to mind, but the reality is more complex, stretching back thousands of years, involving indigenous peoples, Africans, and even Mexicans. Ancient migrations to the Americas. Human presence in the Americas predates colonial slavery by tens of thousands of years. Archaeologists estimate ancient North Siberians and East Asians crossed the Bering Land Bridge 20,000 to 23,000 years ago. Fossilized human footprints at White Sands National Park, New Mexico date back over 26,000 years during the Last Glacial Maximum, and well before the Clovis culture. Other sites such as Bluefish Caves in Canada, Cueva del Chiquihuite, Mexico, Santa Elina Rock Shelter and Pedra, Furada, Brazil, suggest humans may have been in the Americas even earlier. Some controversial evidence suggests sea voyages from Australia to the Americas 50,000 years ago. Modern Mexicans are the result of a genetic blend, primarily indigenous, with East Asian origins, European, Spanish, and African ancestry. Tribes such as the Chinook, Pomo, Chumash, Navajo, Pueblo, and Apache share genetic and cultural links through this long history. Language and slavery. The difference between Mexican and African American slavery often came down to language. Mexicans were enslaved under the Spanish and spoke Spanish, whether from Mexico, Honduras, Peru, or Puerto Rico. Africans brought to America spoke over 100 different languages such as Yoruba, Twi, Wolof, Igbo, Arabic, and many Bantu dialects. This language diversity made planning revolts extremely difficult. Over time, enslaved Africans were forced into English, stripping them of cultural identity. Because of language, escape options differed. Mexicans could blend into communities across the border more easily. Africans who reached Mexico might still struggle to communicate, making safety less certain. California and civil rights. When California joined the Union as a free state in 1849, its constitution still denied suffrage and civil rights to non-white citizens. Some lawmakers even tried to ban the immigration of free black people, a bill that narrowly failed. Due to backlash, there were relatively few Mexican slaves in California and New Mexico, though more existed in Texas and across the Southeast. Like African Americans, Mexicans were also victims of lynching. African origins in ancient America. Recent archaeology suggests ancient inhabitants of the Americas had direct genetic and cultural connections to Africans who crossed into the Americas via the land bridge. Similarities in weapons, burn pits, pottery, and stone tools appear in South America, Western North America, and land bridge sites in Canada. This supports the theory that Native, Mexican, and other early cultures share African heritage. The first African in Texas. According to official Texas history, the first person of African heritage to arrive in Texas was Estevanico in 1528, an enslaved Moroccan brought by Spanish explorers. This was almost 300 years before the U.S. was founded. Mexico ends slavery. On September 15, 1829, Vicente Guerrero, Mexico's second president and North America's first black head of state, abolished slavery, more than 25 years before the U.S. Emancipation Proclamation. That means the Battle of the Alamo, February the 23rd through March the 6th, 1836, is often remembered as a fight for Texas freedom, but slavery was a key factor. Texan settlers wanted to preserve chattel slavery in Coahuila, Texas, despite Mexico's abolition. Ironically, the Mexican government had offered a slavery exemption for Texas, meaning the battle didn't need to happen at all. Free black people in Texas. There were free black residents in Texas before slavery became entrenched, but once slavery was institutionalized, laws banned free black people from living there. Slavery in San Antonio. Historic American Buildings survey from the Library of Congress records identify two known slave quarters in San Antonio. Most slave plantations were located east of San Antonio near the Cibola River, where slavery was largest in Texas. By 1860, most enslaved people in Texas lived in rural areas, but over 1,000 lived in Galveston and Houston, with several hundred in other towns. In summary, Native Americans, African Americans, and Hispanic Americans have been subject to slavery even before America existed. All three groups were victims to lynching by Europeans, and then white Americans, out. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Better still, please subscribe. Thanks and have a great day.